I don't believe a companion was revealed here, so I'm not exactly sure what he is playing.
Yeah, if this tracks, this could be just a larger blue-black control deck, or
Could be the Tinker deck.
yeah, could be the Tinker deck.
Ancient Tomb into Lorien revealed, so we're already off. We're already off script for Mark.
So does that mean that maybe we'll see a workshop? Nope. Well, there's an island, but of course, is this going to be blue shops?
If he's got experimental synthesizer, I can't imagine it's anything else.
Yeah.
Inkwell would lend into that as well. But now the interesting thing is, why lead on Saga if you can't make a construct on turn 2?
Yeah, maybe it's trying to just float mana into
an artifact.
Have
Sure.
the mock sandbagged, perhaps, but in the world of Vexing
And
Bauble.
there it is.
There it is. Good call. So what does this card do?
This card is an artifact. It is 1 blue and 2 colorless. When it comes into play, scry 2, and whenever you cast an artifact with converted mana cost 3 or more, you make a construct token, which is similar to the construct tokens off of or as a Saga or Karn. Power and toughness equals the number of artifacts you control.
Super powerful.
Looks like Timothy didn't know what it does either. He gives that a quick read, and there is the scry. Keeping those cards separate, as we are at competitive level rules enforcement today. So important to note, keep an eye on that. And let's see what he's going to do. Looking at his hand. Let's see, can we see anything? I see a Force of Will in Timothy's hand. I think I saw a Dark Ritual.
Couldn't see it.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm only seeing halfway through, so anyways.
Oh yes, we will be cracking several jokes. Chat, feel free to chime in at any time. If I refer to Roland as Ragavan every now and then, it's because he is in fact wearing an eye patch.
I become Simeon.
Ragavan.
Ragavan.
It starts with an R, like Roland.
Oh yeah, I know.
It kind of rings, rolls off the tongue.
Beautiful.
Yes. All right, so it looks like he's resolving that scry. It's going to be 1 on top and 1 on the bottom. And my assumption is he will pass the turn. So interesting to see, given you don't know what you're playing and you see the synthesizer cast, do you burn your Force of Will there?
Probably, yes. Just to, that might be the money payoff card.
We shall find out.
Mark is going down the path of, well, interestingly enough, there were no additional constructs created, right? There were
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Well, he's got to cast a 3. I forget if it's cast or comes into play. He's got to get more artifacts into play.
Oh, right.
Is it cast or comes into play? Enters the battlefield. Okay.
ETB.
Okay, so we see the Saga tap for colorless mana floated into the pool, and Tim is going to search his. Oh, do we have a judge call? I didn't see anything that would throw me off.
Was it the Saga trigger?
Maybe he forgot to draw. Maybe
Cards in hand.
that I
1, 2,
that I
3,
cannot see,
4, 5,
unfortunately.
6, 7, 8 total cards.
I do not know what the delay is.
So Timothy started first, so
Yeah. And the scry happened. Do we know if there was a judge call or anything? Or? Okay, so it looks like they're just examining their hand, pondering what he wants to search for. Perhaps the third Saga triggers on the stack. Colorless mana in the pool. Let's see where he decides to take this. So none of the exciting new tech as of yet. No vexing baubles as of yet, or Psychic Frogs or Nethergoyf or Necrogoyf, depending on your perspective. I will probably refer to that card as both names throughout the course of the day.
It's fair.
Keep wanting to say Necrogoyf. I just think it sounds cooler, and that's honestly what I thought it was until I was corrected. As it turns out, it's not.
Does exist, though.
It does?
Necrogoyf actually exists.
Oh.
So
Awkward.
Nethergoyf,
Wow,
you're
that's
not,
really
you're not
awkward.
wrong, because I kept on referring it to Necrogoyf as well.
Well, that just begs the question, what does Necrogoyf do? I don't know what that does.
It is a worse version. I will.
Oh. All right, so it looks like while we look up what Necrogoyf actually does, we've got.
Oh,
We can't.
yeah,
The screen is too big.
we can't see on the screen, but
It looks like it's a 5 casting cost thing.
yeah, you're never
Yeah,
gonna cast that. I mean,
No,
you
that
can
card's
cast it
horrible.
for madness.
No, that card's horrible. Never mind.
Well-
No one's ever going to get that confused.
Well,
All right, so now we've got a key into a dark ritual.
Okay.
Getting back to the action
There's
after
one colorless floating, right?
the demonic tutor, leaving 2 black floating.
2 black floating, great. What do you think he's gonna get
A
here?
land drop lets him vault key.
It's true.
Does that mean force a will or don't? All right,
Oh,
Mr. Mark, let's see what you got.
Force
I
of
see
Will's
a
gotta
force.
save him here.
I believe I saw a force
Ooh, and a
earlier.
Tinker.
Forcing the Tinker, that doesn't feel good, but you got to do what you got to do. I don't think you can really bank on him not having a land drop here.
No.
So that's going to resolve. Let's see. Was I correct about the Force of Will call? Yes,
Protecting
indeed.
the combo. Yep.
Protect it. Force of Will Flusterstorm. Now we'll see if he's got the land to roll it all up. He does not. So
Okay, we
a
passed right over.
a small gas of life. I guess that's why he didn't force the synthesizer, because he knew it would not matter.
Right.
He was going to have him quick, and Mark Hornung has to scoop him up. So interesting game. Unfortunately, didn't get to see Mark do his thing much. Dark Ritual into Time Vault. Okay.
Yep, that is the classic play for us in Vintage right now. There's so many decks out there just taking advantage of this. As we saw right there, the Urza Saga was able to grab either the Voltaic, or in this case, what was that one? Which key?
The other key.
Yeah, the other key. We'll call it the other key.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes. So being able to grab a key and
Go right into Vault, Ritual.
Right.
So
This
Dark
is a great
Ritual, you got to
combo
think he's got to have some measure of Storm combo in there.
Mm-hmm.
We are watching, like I said, we are watching these matches on delay, so I think we have the capability to skip sideboarding. I think we're going to work on that in the meantime. We will keep chit-chatting away. Going into this, what do you think of this match so far? I know it's obviously not too off-the-shelf archetypes.
Yeah, looking at Mark's deck, I think it's more. It could include the same combo, right? And I'm guessing
I'm sure
the
there's a Vault key in
Saga is
there.
going to be in there as well.
Yeah, most definitely workshops as well.
But then being able to pivot and go into something a little bit heavier on the aggro side, as we saw with the synthesizer, that card, it's got to be busted in Vintage. So to be able to make your army and then just swarm, especially some against these very low to the ground fair decks. So
I could see it doing well there. My concern with the card is that you're paying full freight. You're paying a blue and 2 colors for a card that, when it comes into play, does nothing. It
Yeah.
does not affect the board in any way. Yes, you get to scry too. That certainly helps, but scrying and drawing are not the same thing. And then you're going to cast that largely and pass to your opponent, and you've largely done nothing, which is historically not been a recipe for success, given the other alternative uses you have for a blue and 2 colorless, a la Tinker, a la Time Twister, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It'll be interesting to see if the synthesizer just does enough. Because again, even if you synthesize it, the next turn you make a token, that token is now summoning sick, and the synthesizer still hasn't done anything for you.
yeah, I think that's, as you pointed out in the start that Mark had. Yeah, he has to have more mana to be able to even do more. So cast that 3 caster to be able to create your construct. I mean, just to get some value, right?
Yeah, you got to get something. He's got. I mean, maybe you have to question the keep a little bit. What was his? It was Ancient Tomb into Lorien Revealed into Synthesizer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Didn't have the blue source yet.
Yeah, so your first 2 turns, you're literally doing nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a Force of Will, so I mean that buys him some. But Tim had the Force of Will as well, so he was able to shut it right down and just enact his game plan significantly more efficiently.
Right. We were looking at maybe a turn 3 Tinker into something.
Yeah, he did have Tinker as well. That hand would have loved the Mox.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, that would have been fantastic.
We will work on getting deck lists for later rounds in the tournament. Hopefully we can bring that stuff to you over time. It looks like, again, we're on a little delay. I see the two players from this match walking around. We will not reveal the winner as to keep the broadcast integrity a little bit more intact. But, I'm really excited to see what we see today. I want to see the baubles and the no rods shut all this stuff down. Yeah. Everybody's artifact heavy. Give me like a grizzly bears and a no rod and you'll take the day.
That is a great approach, especially what we saw at EW last year.
Which was Jewel Shops.
Jewel Shops, but we had like mono red plowing through with Blood Moons on turn 1, even like Magus Magus of the Moon on turn 1, Chalices, and Sphere Effects.
Yeah.
So that can do it, and even like the Null Rod, like you say, just lock it all down, and then just swing away with your Hate Bears. So.
But where I think that may run into a problem this time around is, a certain 1 casting cost 4/5, and or a 2 casting cost Ophidian that can also be a 4/5 pretty easily.
Yeah, pretty good.
So that's the interesting thing for the Loris, and I was able to spend a lot of time this week looking at the last few vintage challenges and the vintage leagues on Magic Online for the decks that have been successful since Modern Horizons, and it was basically an ocean of no rods. And then you saw the Luris decks becoming almost much more mid-rangey, like I almost want to say like Bug without green.
Sure.
To combat that, because if between main deck and board, if everyone's got 4 Vexing Baubles and 3 to 4 no rods, you have to cast things. And if that's the environment you're in, and you play a 1 mana 4/5,
right,
and then you wasteland somebody, and then you play a Saga, that's probably enough. Like, because that's going to kill you pretty quickly.
Yeah, the tempo is already stolen.
Yeah, the guy takes 2 points off his, sacklands or whatever, pop bang thing. And especially with Urza Saga counting as 2 card types in the graveyard, or you want to wasteland the Saga? All right, you just giant strength my thing.
Amazing. Yeah, it's the power of MH3 speaking, and I'd play something low to the ground like that too.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Like if I was playing today, I would be probably get an extra land into my Luris deck and play just one that you cast.
Yes.
Like I think Bug without green is the best way that I can say it, because I'm stubborn and whatever. I can't play Bug because I need to play something that's probably not as good. But that's why I commentate and I don't play. We get to enjoy 8 rounds of vintage plus a top 8 with 0 stress on who wins or loses.
Well, what would you have played today?
I literally just said that.
Yeah. Just the thing without the green, right?
Yes, I would have played. I would have played Luris Bug without green.
But I mean, like, there's so many other options like that you could have done with maybe Nadu. I know you said that you hate Nadu.
I didn't say that.
I mean, in vintage at least.
Yes. Again, I don't like the Nadu has been. It's the talk of the town of Modern. You're certainly starting to see it in Legacy. I wouldn't be shocked if there was 1 or 2 people playing it today. I would be shocked if they had a lot of success with it. Again, you just have too many cards in your deck that don't do anything when you cast them. You pay 3 mana, great, you have a 3/4 flyer. It does not impact the board, it does not impact your opponent, and you're not really casting anything that's more than 3 or 4 mana. Most, like, what spells do you actually cast that cost 4? Like, unless you're White Initiative, like you don't.
Yeah. Hey, we got a turn.
We are back
no
into a turn run no rod. Sorry for the delay on my soapbox a little bit. Mark has taken the genius play line of strip mining himself on the first turn. Let's see how it works out for him. Going against the Dark Ritual deck, looks like I do see a couple of Moxes in that hand, so that no rod might sting a little bit. Looks like at least 2. Presumably those are the white-bordered cards. Can you see?
Nope, can't see.
Bummer.
Yeah, put this full screen.
We'll see what he is going to do. Definitely looks like that no rod hurt him. Do we know? Did he draw a card? Yes, he did.
Yeah,
It looks like there's 8 cards there. We'll see. So we'll see what Timothy is going to do in the face of that no rod.
All right, let's just start.
So it looks like the no rod had some impact.
Had to.
Polluted Delta Pass. As expected, no rods are here in full force at the NYSE.
It's interesting.
That key is probably going to be less effective than he'd like it to be.
Yeah.
Honestly, probably just getting ready for sagas and or synthesizer tokens. Just
The way I see with some of these hate decks is that if you have your own combos in there trying to do your thing, sometimes you just keep these hands that are also maybe detrimental to your own. So it prolongs the game long enough sometimes that the combo decks will just sneak out of it.
Yeah, eventually they can wiggle out of it. If you don't, if believe me, I certainly know enough about dirtling for way too long without winning the game and then ending up losing the game, to tell you that that is certainly a thing. But again, if Mark is able to follow this up, Ancient Tomb next turn into Synthesizer, that key is now a Crusade.
Right. Still a pretty solid keep. I mean, I've done
Yeah, no,
this
I-
type of thing before with Bug, going to turn one.
Especially if he's got a Force of Will behind it or
Yeah.
a Wasteland or something to deal with the Saga, which is, the natural answer to a Null Rod. Because, you don't, assuming you have 3 lands, you're making, at least 3-4 power worth of creatures. And there we go. Okay.
All right,
Demonic
so-
Tutor from Tim. See if we can get a look at Mark's hand at all. I don't think we can.
So this could spell some trouble for Mark. Being able to, as Tim's able to stabilize after having a slower start. And it seems like they're, let's
Well,
see, what's a good DT target here?
I think there's 2 ways he can think about it. Is he putting Mark on Wasteland or not? I think that is the key question. If you put Mark on a Wasteland and you're going to, assume that your Urza Saga is going to get Wastelanded next turn before you can make any tokens, I think Ancestral Recall is a natural choice. If you're not putting Mark on a Wasteland, maybe you need the second land to play it, or if you have another land rolled up, maybe you just want another Urza Saga.
Yeah. Another Urza Saga. What about Strip Mine?
Yeah, Strip Mine is interesting. I think Mark actually missed his land drop.
Yeah. Because he went straight into Island, into the key.
Yeah, Island Key Pass. So
Yep.
yeah, Strip Mine is certainly an interesting option. Already made his land drop, so that will kind of, now, I don't know if I like Strip Mine as much, because then that takes your Saga, you're not making any Saga tokens.
Yeah.
And
Saga
maybe
tokens-
that's on me generally for being a little too dirtily. You'll notice that. You'll notice that, Chad, and our viewers, as I do tend to like there. And there's the
Ooh,
Wasteland.
there
We
it
called
is,
it.
okay.
And he doesn't go for the Saga.
Yeah,
I
so-
guess takes away the ability to make the tokens.
Correct. So even if the Saga
Go
is
fetch an
able to
artifact with
do
it.
the thing,
I think that makes a ton of sense, actually.
Yeah. Prevents from, let's say, a Hercules recall type situation,
yeah.
right? The EOT. The Wasteland was certainly well timed there.
Yeah, I think having a Wasteland in his hand is one of the reasons Mark thought good to keep this hand. There's a reason he's a former world champion, and I'm talking a lot. And there's Mental Misstep, opting to pay the mana. Not afraid of days.
Nope.
I need to register a team.
Love Mental Misstep. Restricted for a reason. Into a rock.
This rock does nothing.
Correct. No, it doesn't do anything.
It doesn't do anything.
No, wait, we got it in reverse.
I
It
think
doesn't
it-
do anything.
it doesn't do
no,
anything.
it does nothing.
Oh, it does nothing.
That's the
Yes.
flavor text. That's great flavor text.
That's great flavor text.
Rock, pass. So it looks like, yep, those were 2 Moxes there.
Those were the things that were probably stuck in Tim's hand. But
Still looks unable to make a Saga token during his next main phase when it ticks up to the 3rd chapter.
right, the things that will help here, probably a Tolarian Academy off the top.
Sure,
To start
sure.
really generating some more. I'm sure Tim would
What do
probably.
we got there? A Mishra's Workshop.
Yeah. Okay.
Never a bit.
Some artifact mana in there.
Yeah, so now I think you have to put the advantage bar safely in Mark's favor at this point. Until Mark has changed his body posture a little bit, no more head in his hands.
Oh,
Tapping
tapping them.
for
Oh.
a convoked Kappa Cannoneer.
Is that improvise or is it convoke?
Improvises the artifact convoke,
Convoke is
I think.
Kappas.
Yeah, Kappa Cannoneer.
Let me look this up. I should know this by now.
3, 4, 6. Yeah. If we can bring that up on screen for the viewers.
Kappa Cannoneer.
Improvise.
Improvise.
Yes.
I'm going to call that one close enough.
So this is
Why don't you read that card for us? Tell us what
Sure.
exactly it does.
all right. 5 colorless, 1 blue, 4/4. Improvise. That means your artifacts can help cast the spell. Each artifact you tap, so that's why we saw
The
Mark,
Mox.
Yep, tap those Mox
Sure.
in, even though they were useless. Tap after you're done activating mana abilities. Pay for 1, so you can make this cheaper.
You can functionally tap them for mana.
Tap your
under
Null
Null
Rod
Rod,
if you want to. So,
which it appears he did.
and the toughest thing about this thing, once it lands, it also triggers itself. So
Which I don't understand how that actually works, but Wizards and Magic Online say so, so I'm just going to run with it. I have no clue. Like, I'm going to guessing it has something to do either with the Wall of Roots phase or the Waylay phase,
Must be.
and maybe the Mirror Universe phase. Like, it's something like that. One of those relics. We'll see if there are any other old people in the chat today. Or
Which
remember
phase
that
are you in?
I'm definitely in Mirror Universe. Yes.
Oh, okay. Wow. All right, so we're
And it
seeing
looks like demonic ancestral was the demonic tutor target.
Yep. And judging by some of the top decks here, I mean, Black Lotus off the top, not the greatest, but
It does nothing.
yeah, Tim is trying to now scramble out of this hole that.
I think he's going to have a hard time doing that.
Yeah.
That Cannoneer is going to put an end to this game pretty quickly, especially with him dropping 2 more Darksteel ingots this turn.
Now that there's 4 mana available, plus improvised mana available for future even Kappa.
And that's not legendary, right?
No, it's not legendary, so more Turtle Warriors can come into play. Ooh,
And
that's a
there's a
big one.
Crucible for the Wasteland, and I think we might be just about done here.
Yeah, but there
Oh,
was
there's a Force
off
of Will.
that-
Okay.
Probably off that Ancestral. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Force pitching Force.
Any answer from Mark? Is the Cannoneer cast or comes into play?
Come into play.
Okay, so that would stop that trigger. Looks like that Force of Will is going to resolve. And we enter attacks, and that's a swing for 5.
Yeah. The thing I didn't get to mention about Kappa is that it's extremely hard to remove because it has this ward 4.
4?
Yeah. It's just like, all right, not only do you have to have that removal spell that maybe if you're lucky you have a snuff out, you pay 4 life,
And 4 mana?
and 4 mana on top of that. So it's going to be very difficult for Tim to sneak out.
No,
if
I
he's,
remember when the card first came out, I was actually playing a Legacy match, and I was playing Delver at the time, and he cast the thing, and, I'm like, I drew a Pyroblast. Great. I'm looking at him like, oh, is this, I gotta have 5, do I even have 5 lands in my deck? Wait, what? Does this work? Is it possible for me even to cast this?
Oh, we've got some action here. Okay.
Dark Ritual into Yawgmoth's Will. It appears with nothing floating? Is that right?
Nothing floating?
I mean, I saw a Dark Ritual for 3
Okay.
and the Yarg Will.
To probably get a land drop.
Sure.
Back.
We do have the Underground Sea from the Wasteland, from the earlier Wasteland.
Yep.
There we go.
But imagine Dark Ritualing into
Can't imagine Mark needs to read that card to know what it does.
maybe just admiring
He's
it.
been around long enough that he should know by now.
You know, he won his championship off of Dredge, I believe, right?
That is correct.
Yeah, so,
A long time ago, I want to say he beat Paul Mastriano in the finals.
yes.
I think.
There was a
long
way
time ago.
to defeat, I think, the Blightsteel Colossus that was trying to kill him.
I recall both guys having some really great top decks right towards the end.
Right.
And Mark just got you do like the Chain of Vapor, the Nature's Claim or something.
I think that was the one
It
of
was,
Chain
it,
of
was, it, was,
Vapor.
it was. I know it was very, very dramatic. It was something like that.
Yeah,
It's got to be at least 10 years ago, probably more than
at
that now.
least, yeah.
15. I don't know.
No, I think 15 is probably closer to when I won, so that's ancient history at this point. Yeah.
I think we're all ancient history at this point.
All right,
All right,
so,
so
we
let's
got
see. We're still resolving Yawgmoth's Will. We have looks like we got a Storm counter and a Mana counter, so we've got 3 spells cast.
oh, beautiful. Is there enough mana to have DT into Hercules?
That's what we are going to find out. Yeah, there is, and that would open up a lot of other mana. Yeah, okay. So I think there's a
Then you
demonic
get
tutor
a-
and 4 spells, 1 black floating. You have
You-
the island and the black floating for Hercules,
Then you open up all of your Moxen. So,
and that gives you access to another 6 mana. So
yep. And it doesn't look like Mark would have the Force plus blue spell or something.
no, you got to figure he would have forced the
Yeah.
Yawgmoth's Will.
And at this point, I mean, if there's the DT resolves, I don't think he would. Maybe he was saving up for a Flusterstorm?
Maybe,
Perhaps.
could be.
There is the 1 blue open still, so
Yeah,
this could be
so-
pivotal.
Yeah, I mean he's not out of the woods yet, but there's, as expected, there's the Hercules. 2 cards in hand for the former world champion. See if he's got an answer. Looks like he's picking up artifacts.
There are artifacts coming back to hand.
That cannot be a good sign. So what else do we have in the graveyard? Force of Will,
Ancestral.
Ponder, Ancestral,
There's
Saga.
a Saga, yeah. So you already
Land
had
drop was already
drop.
made. So we've got basically Ancestral and Ponder as the gas in the tank, and it looks like 1, maybe 2 cards in hand.
At least.
1, 2, 3.
Yep.
So it's a search for a time vault.
He's got Ponder
Lotus.
to look even further, just in case.
Lotus is going to get popped for
blue
what I can
mana?
assume is 3 blue.
Yep.
Dropping to 2.
All
There
right.
is that Ponder. Upping the storm count to 7. Getting pretty close here. I don't think he could. There's a way he can. He'll need another Dark Ritual at least if he's going to Tendrils kill.
Right.
Because the Lotus is already gone.
Life counts at 20 to 13, so
Yep, that sounds about right. It was just the 1 hit from the Cannoneer, maybe a couple fetch lines.
Mark's sitting pretty if even if it's just Storm 8.
Yeah, I think Timothy is either going to win here or he's kind of done.
Yeah, well, he kept all 3 on top and then drew, so
He found something he liked.
found something.
There's the black. There's the Dark Ritual.
Okay, that's Storm 8 there. Is there enough?
So we have 2 blue and 3 black and 8 storm, so we need 1 more spell plus the tendrils. 4-ish cards in hand, it looks like.
Looks like that, yeah.
And we're tapping something. 2 black, 2 blue, so spending 1 black for a Vampire
18.
Tutor.
Okay.
Can we draw the card? You have to assume yes.
Have to.
I would hope so. I can't imagine he's going to. Let's just think about it. If he had to say pass at this point, my assumption is he gets Tinker. With maybe
Tinker to
he
set
has a
up
bot.
for, yeah.
But for the most part, these decks don't play bot anymore. They just play Citadel, right?
Oh, right.
And if it's just Citadel, you already used your Yogg-Will, you already used your Lotus. You're Citadeling into what? How's he drawing the card?
How's he drawing a card?
My guess is. Was that in response to the Ponder?
I don't know. I don't-
There's the Ponder.
Maybe that was in response to the Ponder? No, we saw him draw him.
Vamp, then
Intriguing.
Ponder.
Didn't he?
Oh.
Did
Wait,
he vamp in response to the Ponder, maybe?
that is an interesting end, because
I'm sorry,
we
maybe-
thought the
maybe we
Ponder
missed that.
resolved, and then there was a Vampiric Tutor after that.
Do we have the miracle of modern technology to backtrack?
Can we go back to Booth for a second?
Sure. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
bring that back. If anybody in chat saw exactly what happened, maybe I took my eyes off the screen for a second.
Oh, you know what? Didn't Ponder just get unrestricted?
Oh, he had another Ponder.
Yeah, another Ponder. All right.
Ponder is now unrestricted. Rolling. Clutch, Jackson.
All
Our
right.
matey.
Okay.
Good man. Good man. All right,
figured this
so
out.
that explains that match. Best to Tim. Sorry to Mark. Never really got to see his deck shine as much as we would have liked it to. It certainly looked like an interesting brew. If he is able to play well throughout the rest of the day, maybe we'll see him back on camera.